Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Trent, aka Diviness Divine. That's my intergalactic name. And I'm out here on a Sunday morning, like easy like a Sunday morning, kicking it on the playground, as you see. Just at the playground, just kind of looking at the vacated school over there and, you know, loving the trees, loving the field, basically just loving nature, just sitting out here basking in some sun when the sun decides to peep out and say, hello, how are you doing this morning? Sending you good energy, good vibes, a good break because, that's the time period that we're living in. It's time for us to ascend and it's time for us to forgive and wake up. Now, if you watched the video before this one, we were talking about learning to forgive yourself and why forgiveness is important. You have to forgive yourself and others so that, number one, you don't have the power that you have to evolve isn't stunted because you're relinquishing your power because of a past situation. And they say time heals all things, but what needs to be known and what you need to understand is that time does heal things, but you can forgive yourself right now. So if you watch the first video and you're still in the process of forgiving yourself and forgiving others to relinquish and let go so you can move forward, then don't watch this video yet because you ain't ready. You got to go back to the first one. You got to write that, and some tips that I wanted to give about that, starting all the way back from your childhood, whether it was from your childhood as a teenager, as a wife, as a husband, as a mother, as a father, as an aunt, as an uncle, as a grandfather, as a cousin, as a great uncle, great aunt, whatever. It's time to forgive in all aspects, in all areas, and realize that in forgiving yourself, you are forgiving yourself another chance at the now. And you're not crippling yourself in the past. Because a lot of people, one way of not forgiving yourself of the past, what happens is when you don't forgive yourself about the past, a lot of times a type of energy ego can form. And this energy ego, people think that egos is all, about look at me. It's all about me. Me. I'm this, I'm that. But egos take on other forms of identity too. They take on the victim identity. Me and Miss Rios, we used to go through that together. The victim identity. She used to say to me, well, I don't understand. Am I this? Why this? I this, I that. And then at the time we were both growing and we had became victims of an ego victim, and the ego victim is always why me. In order for you to evolve, number one, the first thing is you got to work on self. You got to look at the man in the mirror, forgive yourself, and I'm stressing this on the second video because it is very, very important. In order for you to move forward, you have to forgive yourself. If you have to write down you could take a piece of paper, write down all the things that you felt prevented you from moving forward, that you feel bad about, that you feel like you made mistakes in, because you are not your past. A lot of people think they're an extension of their past, but what they don't realize is it's merely nothing scientifically, spiritually, metamorphically, nothing more than bringing energy forward, or what I would like to call stunted energy, old energy that you're supposed to let go of. And it's sometimes in forgiving yourself, you're going to find yourself, during this process, you'll find yourself crying a lot. You'll shed tears. That's healthy. It's healthy to cry, even for men. Don't let nobody tell you because you're a man you should not cry. That's not true. You have to let that out because it's pent-up energy that needs to come out. And if you're not letting out your energy in a productive way, you've got to kind of like turn on the energy, the psychic, let it go. So forgiving ourselves is important. And we must remember this. on what we call on earth a Sunday morning, or the the first day of the week, or seventh. There's an argument about that, but who really cares? What we care about right now is elevating so we could go to the next level and learning to love ourselves. And also adding on to your homework from the first video, learning to forgive ourselves, write down what we have regrets or what we feel like is holding us back, or people we have not forgotten, write their names down, and forgive, the person, forgive yourself, and then take the time, look at yourself in the mirror, and apologize to yourself. Because sometimes we owe ourselves an apology. Apologize to yourself and say, hair, I love you. I'm going to take better care of you. Face, I love you. I love you, arms. I love you, hands. I love you, neck. I love you, shoulders. I love you, chest. I love you, stomach. I love you, back. I love you, buttocks, behind. I love you, thighs. I love you, legs. I love you, feet. I love you, toes. I love you. Thank you for taking care of me on this dimension, and I'm going to better take care of you. Sometimes we got to talk to ourselves. Now, it may seem, you might scratch your head and make it seem like it's a little crazy, but it's not. It's just you acknowledging the purpose and the path that you're getting ready to evolve into. So we got to forgive ourselves. We got to forgive others. We got to look at ourselves, say that we're sorry.